comparison between Rihanna and Tyla feels like watching two different generations of global stars battle it out in completely different ways. One is already a music and business empire. The other is the fresh superstar shaking the internet with African pop culture. And honestly, the comparison is very interesting. First, let's talk about hits. Rihanna is basically a hit-making machine. From Umbrella to Diamonds, Work, We Found Love, and Only Girl, she has spent years dominating charts around the world. Rihanna has scored multiple #1 songs on the Billboard Hot 100 and sold millions of records globally. Even crazier, she has not released an album in years, yet she still remains one of the most streamed female artists in the world. Now enter Tyla. The South African star came in with Water, and suddenly the entire world started dancing. TikTok exploded. Celebrities joined the trend. Clubs played it non-stop. The song became a global smash hit and made Tyla one of the fastest rising African stars ever. While Rihanna built her legacy over many years, Tyla is building hers at lightning speed. When it comes to albums, Rihanna already has a legendary catalog. Albums like Good Girl Gone Bad, Loud, Talk That Talk, and Anti helped define pop music for an entire generation. Anti especially became one of her most praised albums, with fans still streaming it heavily almost 10 years later. Tyla, meanwhile, is still early in her album journey, but her debut era already introduced her as a major global force for Afrobeats and Amapiano-inspired pop music. She represents a younger African sound that feels fresh, stylish, and extremely internet-friendly. Now, let's discuss streaming numbers, because this is where things become almost unfair. Rihanna currently has over 100 million monthly listeners on Spotify, despite not dropping a full album in nearly a decade. That is superstar behavior on another level. Some of her songs have crossed over 2 billion streams individually. Tyla's numbers are also massive for a newer artist. Reports recently showed her reaching around 38 million monthly Spotify listeners, making her one of the biggest African streaming artists in the world. And here is where the comparison gets funny. Rihanna disappeared from music for years, started billion-dollar businesses, became a mother, dominated fashion, and somehow still streams like she drops music every Friday. Meanwhile, Tyla is in her I just arrived, but I already own the room era. When it comes to collaborations, Rihanna has worked with almost everybody. Drake, Eminem, Jay-Z, Kanye West, Calvin Harris, Future, Shakira, Paul McCartney, Beyonce. The list feels endless. She became the definition of a global pop icon. Tyla is also building an impressive list very quickly. She has already connected with major international stars, fashion brands, and celebrities. The industry clearly sees her as Africa's next giant crossover artist. On YouTube and Spotify billion stream milestones, Rihanna dominates with multiple songs crossing the billion mark, both in streams and views. Tyla is still growing in that department, but Water already pushed her into global streaming conversations very early in her career. Financially, Rihanna wins by a landslide. She is officially a billionaire, thanks to both music and her business empire, including Fenty Beauty and Savage X Fenty. Tyla is still in the early stages financially, but her brand value is rising extremely fast as global companies and audiences continue paying attention to her. The funniest part of this comparison is this. Rihanna feels like the final boss of pop music. Calm, rich, legendary, and barely trying anymore. Tyla feels like the new player everyone underestimated, until she suddenly started breaking records and taking over playlists worldwide. One built the blueprint. The other is creating a new wave. And honestly, music fans are lucky to witness both eras.